July 3rd, 2016. Today, I'm on a train. It's almost a pretend one. There's tracks. There's carriages back there as well, but yeah, I thought a change of scenery from the hotel room is probably a good thing. Today has been a very Greek day. So it started off, I got up really early. When I woke up, there's some sort of sporting thing going on. There's a sports field right over there. There's lots of honking and crazy crowd noises. So, yeah, when I got up this morning, I thought, what am I thinking? Like, what am I thinking about going on a bus tour? And as much as that was a dream from the movie, I thought, I'm not really a tour kind of guy. Like, that's not usually how I roll. There's not enough adventure in tours. So I decided I would leave Athens today. But I still had lots to see and do, and I wanted to meet up with Camille as well. So I managed to do all that. So we, well, from the start, so dance music, wow. Sorry. So I started off, so after I got up, I had a nice early start to the day, went to Hadrian's library, and this was early on in the morning, and of course it's a stunning morning, and it was just Sunday morning, like the church bells are ringing, the city is still kind of asleep, and I felt like at one point I pretty much did have all of Hadrian's library to myself. Like, there was nobody else there, and it was just unbelievably beautiful. And, you know, like Hadrian's library, if you look up, you can see the Acropolis. I'll try and post some pictures of that as well. But there I was looking up at the Acropolis and from Hadrian's library just going, wow, like there's so much history here. And then I wandered over to the Roman Agora, which was pretty much right next door, and then hung out there for a little while, checked it out, then wandered over to the ancient Agora, which was a much bigger place. But having said that, like, I'm quite certain that there's shopping centers in Chongqing that are significantly larger than what ancient Athens seemed to be. Like, everything just seems right up next to each other, and it's all very easy to get around. So after the ancient Agora, I went over to Aristotle's school, and there's not really much, there's not much left of anything, come to think of it. There's just a lot of ruins, but especially so at Aristotle's school. It's still really cool to be there. Like, it's surrounded by residential buildings and stuff, so it feels like it's really part of the city, the modern city, that is. And then after that, so by then I was running late because I was meant to meet Camille for the 11 o'clock presidential version of the changing of the guard at the Parliament buildings. And I had seen them kind of warming up when I was walking over to Aristotle's school, but I still thought I had plenty of time. But the 11 o'clock was actually, they changed the guard at 11 o'clock, but there's this whole 20-minute lead up to the changing of the guard, which I totally didn't know about. So anyway, so I walked with them as they were as they were walking down the street, and then I caught sight of Camille. She was already like standing right in front of the Greek Parliament buildings, just waiting for all the action. And so, yeah, caught up with her, and then we watched the whole show where they kind of like, they flick their feet up, and they've got these little ball things on their feet. And it's very showy, like really showy, as I guess the changing of the guard is all about. But it was very cool to see. And we just stood there and like drenched in hot sun, and then watched the whole. It must have taken probably at least half an hour for them to change the guard. And then I said a temporary sort of goodbye to Camille, more of a see you later in a few days. So I told her that I was going to leave Athens today. And so I ended up just hanging out in the park for a few minutes after the changing of the guard. I'm trying to get rid of some of these tan lines. So I hung out in the park for a little while, and then I went back to the hotel, checked out really quickly at 12 o'clock, and made my way to the Athens, one of the central bus terminals, stations. I didn't know where I was going to go. I told Camille, like, I've got no idea where I'm going to go, but I'll decide once I get to the bus station. And so I just wandered around and found out when buses left and where they were going and prices and stuff. And then I ended up on a 1:30 bus to Nafplio. Nafplio is where I'm at right now. I struggle with the name because I swear there's like 5 different versions of it. I think there's an Italian version, I think there's a Greek version, I think there's some other version, and then there's Miss Google gets really confused, so I feel as though it's alright for me to get confused. But I'm pretty sure, like, the standard, when I look at signs, most of them are saying Nafplio. Yeah, pretty sure that's right. So I rock up here, this was probably around 4 o'clock, and then maybe 3, sometime 3, 4, whatever. Checked in at the hotel, and because I had found a place online while I was on the bus here, and then I went, and because on the way in on the bus I saw there's this huge big castle that is not the one up there. That's a different one. Is it? Yeah. Oh, it is that one right up there. And so I had seen that, and I went, oh, I really want to go up there. And so I did. I walked over there, I walked up the hill, and that took ages. And then it was from there that I saw something bigger, and that's the one right behind me. This is the one that's way, way, way up on the cliff. There are well and truly, literally thousands of stairs to get up that hill. I don't know what it looks like in this video, but I'll post some pictures as to how high up it is. It's nuts. And to be up, so I'm coming back from this castle, and I'm like, oh, I really want to go up there. And so I had to go all the way back down to the sea level, and then find a track that takes me up top of this mountain up here for this fortress that was built in the 17-something. I didn't read the plaques too closely. And it took ages, and oh my goodness, like, I was just disgustingly sweaty by the time I got to the top. And then I hung out there for probably about an hour, and by then it was definitely dinner time, and so my tummy ruled, and I went all the way back down, and then walked around until I found some more seafood. I can't believe how, like, it's kind of a, I don't want to say it's a touristy place, it probably is a touristy place, but it's like a resort town. It's right on the water, it's gorgeous, it's got this old town to it, like, you could spend hours just walking around the old part of this city. It's so cool. So I'm sure there's lots of tourists here. But I'm still surprised at how cheap things are. Like, the accommodation tonight was still only about €35, and that included breakfast tomorrow morning. And then dinner tonight was, I paid less than €4 for this huge, big bag of food from a cafe, I guess. I just had it for takeaway. And I'm exhausted. Like, I'm so happy that yesterday was a rest day, because it's been a huge amount of walking up, down, and exploring. Like, to think that this morning was in Athens and this afternoon was here, I'm pretty much ready for bed. So that's where I'm headed. Like, as soon as I finish up here, it's back to the hotel, and definitely shower, and then, hopefully off to sleep. Tomorrow, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to say it right, but it's something like, I'm guessing Mycenae. Probably not, but that's the closest I can get by reading it from a map. it looks really unbelievably cool, and I really want to go. It's kind, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but if I can get there tomorrow, that'd be awesome. And because I left Athens with plenty of time before flying down to Santorini with Camille on Friday, I feel like I'm much more relaxed, because I'm just on like the public intercity bus system, and I just choose where to go, and it's all cheap. It's like, I feel like this is my own guided tour, and I can do things that are definitely not on the tours that I was looking at. It's great just to be able to have some time to just do things at my own pace, and do things that maybe other people wouldn't be if they were on this guided tour. I'm pretty sure that's all. Oh, right. So I think this is the last thing, is there's olives. Like, there's olives all over the place, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of olive farms, not farms. What are they? Plantations, olive plantations. And I thought, I must be somewhere important. And sure enough, like, I'm in the part of Greece where there's Kalamata, and Kalamata, like, that's I think that's the only type of olive. Yeah, there's green, there's black, and there's Kalamata, right? I think those are the only 3 types of olives that I know. And being that Kalamata is one, and being that there is a town not far from here called Kalamata, it kind of all brings it home for me, you know? So I don't know if I'll actually get into Kalamata, but it's pretty cool to see all these olives. Probably about as exciting as me describing the lift. Alright, yeah. Good night.